Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of my favourite people and some of the country's biggest stars, and we've certainly got one for you today. Brendan Cole was the star of Strictly, who announced he's leaving at the end of last year, and since then he's been on tour selling out huge venues across the UK with this fabulous new show called All Night Long. I'm delighted to say Brendan joins us in the studio now. How are you?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. Very good.
When I say how are you, I mean how are you, because we've all been through storms in our careers, and I know what it feels like to leave something that you love passionately. And I wonder how you are, because I saw you on stage on Friday. You look amazing. You seem to want to be there. You've got this fabulous show. But it's tough, isn't it, when we take these handbrake turns in our lives and careers?
Well, it is, but at the same time, it's really exciting. It's obviously initially when the news came through that the Strictly no longer required my services, I was devastated. I was very upset and disappointed, I suppose, not to be back there next year with all my buddies and doing what I love. However, once you've initially said it, and I went on to the Lorraine show to announce my news, which was a very, very hard thing to do. I absolutely hated doing it. It's probably the one of the most raw of feelings I've ever had on a television show. Once I'd said it, it's almost like it was just a big weight lifted, and I was really the support. You saw it on Friday. The support from the audience is just incredible, and to have that support and the love, and know that people really do care, and know that the Strictly fans, that some of them are really disappointed that I'm not there. That's a really lovely feeling, and I think I'm buoyant about the future and very exciting times ahead. I've all of a sudden got a free diary at the end of the year, which I've never been able to do anything else that I've wanted to do. That is now available, and I'm glad to say that the phone is ringing, so I'm not sitting there going, oh goodness me, I'll never work again, which is lovely. I love what I do, and I'm going to keep doing it.
The last time we spoke, I described you as Mr. Delicious, which you are, and you proved on Friday night to that sellout crowd who gave you standing ovations throughout the show that they absolutely adore you. Is it nice to be a sex symbol? Because those ladies really love you, don't they? Let's face it.
Well, thanks for saying that. I don't know how to answer this one. Listen, I think on stage, you give off an energy. If you think about, if you stand on a stage and you've got, how many people do we have in Grantham? About 1,000, 1,100 people or something to watch the show, and they've all paid good money to come and see you do what you do and see your production, and that is a feeling that gives you such energy and such I don't know, it gives you a stage presence, because you know that you are loved. You know that people have wanted to come and see you, and so you give off this energy, and it's all down to them. So thank you for noticing my beauty. It's not true, but thank you so much. I just, hopefully I've got a performance energy that comes out on stage, and I like to entertain, and I think you get a lot from your audience, and that's what you give back.
Very, very jealous. Very jealous.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the show. What I noticed about it, firstly, was A, you're brilliant at what you do. That's very clear. Secondly, you've got an extraordinary band that sort of celebrate the show musically, which is so important, because without music, dance is nothing, is it?
Absolutely. It was one of the main things. I could have done it with on a track. I could have done it to a CD, and we probably still would have sold tickets, but and I would have made a lot of money. But I like the live band. I love the energy that it gives you on stage. I love the fact that it's a proper show. We're 21 on-stage musicians and dancers. For people that are coming along to see it, they are getting a full spectacle of one, what they know and love from Strictly, which is live music, live dance, and hopefully a great bit of entertainment. But having the live band on stage really lifts the whole thing. You see the lighting, the set, everything goes into making the production, and then the talent on the stage as well then adds that extra little bit of wow factor, and I want people to come along to see the show and walk out going, what a phenomenal night. That was a brilliant night of entertainment, and if they walk out with a smile on the face, then I'm happy.
You can get tickets by going to brandancole.com, get all the tour dates there. You've also got an extraordinary singer on the show, Jenna Lee James, who is one of the greatest voices I've ever heard anywhere in the world. She's just extraordinary, and you give her these moments, whether it be Defying Gravity, or she did the Cause number Runaway, which I thought was just beautiful. You let other people shine as well. It's sort of a variety show. It's harking back to sort of the grand old days of Blackpool, isn't it?
Variety is what it's all about. I think we need more variety on television and in theatres, and people love old-fashioned entertainment. And with my own show, it was important to me to celebrate talent. I make that very clear at the start of the evening. It's not just a show about me and let's look at me and aren't I wonderful. It's about saying, look at these 21 brilliant talented people. Together we're incredible, and as solo artists we're incredible. You know, you mentioned Jenna. She's brand new to the show. She's the first year we've toured together, but my male vocalist Ian, he's been with me for 10 years, and just the stuff he does when he does the Michael Bublé number at this moment, it makes me well up with the emotion behind his voice, and I love that. And then, you know, take any of the musicians. I mean, our trumpet player Louis, he's one of the world's best trumpeters, and when he blows, you stand back and you go, wow, it's impressive. Even down to our drummer Cookie, you know, I think he's 60 years old. He plays it like he's 24, and he's one of the best drummers you'll hear in the business. And I think that makes a show. The talent that people on stage, and obviously the dance cast, they're some of the world's best dancers. So
I didn't notice Ian, by the way. I was too busy distracted with Jenna's cat suit.
Well, she does.
I don't know what happened.
She does wear a fine cat suit.
Also, congratulations on the sound system you use. You don't do anything cheap. I see so much crap touring the UK, most of which is half empty, and I think all these things matter.
Don't talk about my fellow Strictly pros. That's not nice.
I mean, there are a ton of you. I just had Christina on the other day. She's doing a show as well. I mean, it seems like dance has never been more popular, and what you guys are doing is sort of the equivalent of G4 or Il Divo to classical music. You've made this stuff popular for the masses, and that's a great achievement.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the sort of production values. Very, very important to me to have the very best of everything. You know, leave nothing out, because I don't want somebody coming along. Let's say, take yourself. I'd hate it if you'd come along and gone, oh, the show was good. The sound was a bit rubbish, or the lighting wasn't very good, or they didn't have much production. That would kill me. So I make sure we've got the very best of everything. And yeah, there is a lot of choice out there when it comes to dance shows. I think there are about 12 different sort of spin-off Strictly things. And back in the day, it was just Anton and myself and the Strictly tour that went out. Now, obviously, there's a lot more competition. So it's tough, because obviously with more competition means less people coming to your production, which means costs can be really scary when you're putting a big show on like we do. If you overspend and you don't get the numbers through the door, you go bankrupt very, very quickly. So it's a balancing act, but first and foremost for me is about putting on a great production.
And you can get more details by going to brendancolelive.com for all night long touring the UK through the spring. I wonder what your life is like in terms of discipline. I mean, being on tour doing one-nighters is a killer, because, of course, you're eating in service stations and things like that. And in fact, yeah. I know one of your tour buses has already blown up. You nearly all died. Is everybody okay?
Yeah, it was the crew. Crew have a sleeper bus so that they can get a proper rest. They work ridiculously hard. We've got 6 very hard working crew, and yeah, they were driving along the motorway, and they had a fuel pipe issue, and the back of the bus caught on fire, and it was quite horrific actually. All of them standing there in their underpants in the middle of the night, and had to go to Tesco's to get a change of clothing so they could go to work the next day, and just shows how amazing they are. They were like, we're okay, we're all right. The show goes on. We had 2 shows that day, matinee and an evening performance, and I wouldn't have been surprised if they'd gone, you know, we're a bit in shock, we're going to have to stay off, you'll just have to do it without us. But they didn't, and yeah, things happen on tour. All sorts of things happen over the course of a 56-date tour, but I work with the best, and they showed their true mettle, and yeah, just luckily that everybody was okay. And
the show must go on.
The show must go on, as they say.
What's your life like in terms of discipline? It seems to me the more talented you are, the more disciplined you need to be. And I guess to look like you and be as good as you are at the top of your game at your age doesn't come easy. When you wake up in the morning, what happens? Are you allowed to not eat this and not do that? Or are you relaxed with the whole thing?
I'm pretty relaxed. I eat relatively healthily on a day-to-day basis. My wife loves her, good food. We eat proper food in the house. We don't get ready meals and stuff like that. Although sometimes it would be easier. We generally cook. We get the odd takeaway here and there. I do drink. I enjoy my drink, but hopefully, well, I say everything in moderation. Not on tour. Not on tour. It's funny. You finish the gig and you're like, let's go for a beer. Just desperate for a bit of a knees up. So it's one of those things. Everything in moderation. moderation, look after yourself. Like you say, I'm pushing on now. I'm 41. It's certainly not easier than it was when I was 28. But at the same time, you're fit for your gig, and I consider myself young. I'm active. My home life, when I'm at home, I look after my daughter. I'm first one up in the morning to get my daughter ready for school if I'm home, and just generally try and live every day as much as you can. But
you're already defying the odds at your age doing what you do at your level. Do you contemplate how long you can keep pulling it off? Because the toll on your body must be significant.
Well, it is, but at the same time, you keep going. I don't really notice it. My knees hurt a little bit, but that's because I had a car racing accident. I had a big brake failure at Silverstone 5 years ago. So my knees hurt a little bit, but I don't think it's from the dancing. In terms of the physical wear and tear, the problems are if you get, let's say you get a little niggle, let's say a little knot in the neck or something, and you've got to go and perform, and every night has to be as good as the last, and whether it be the first night or the last night of a tour, they are the difficulties. But generally, I'm fighting fit.
You need an on-tour masseur. That's what you need. A nice lady who's available 24/7.
I love your thinking. Could we have this, please?
Let's talk about your private life and what it's like being you. I guess at home you've never been happier. To have a wife and a child is the dream that we all look for, and a professional life that's also doing well. It seems to be going pretty well, doesn't it?
I think we're doing all right, are we? It's busy. Life is very busy. Obviously, it's just freed up a whole lot of time at the end of the year, which would be nice. But I'm a family man. I love my daughter is my world. Just that. I mean, all parents say that, but she came in this morning early. I might add. She got up before she was allowed to, and she came, Daddy. I was like, come on, jump into bed, and she jumped in, and we snuggled for a bit, and she wriggles in and gets as close as she can. That to me is the best moment of the day. And then you're still a bit snoozy, and she's like, come on, Daddy. We've got to get up and we've got to do things. Oh, right. That's harder than going on a stage, trying to get up in the morning and get breakfast. Yeah, parents know what that's like. We've all done it, and I'm about to do it again. I've got another one due in about 2 weeks, I think.
Incredible. How do you balance that with going on the tour bus to do these gigs? I mean, you have to be away from home. Are they able to come with you at any point, or do you separate the two?
Separate the two. I think to do together is very, very difficult, because obviously when you're on tour, let's say from 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're getting ready to go to the theatre, you get there for the sound check, and you make sure everything's all right, make sure everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing, and make sure there are no problems, and then you go for dinner, and then you get ready for the show, and then you do the show, and then you come off the stage, and your adrenaline's pumping, so you don't want to go to sleep for at least 3 hours. I wouldn't be in bed before 2 o'clock on a show day, just because your adrenaline just does not stop. So that is not conducive to family life, and having wife and child in the hotel waiting for you to come home. You get into bed and you'd lie there for 2 hours waiting, hoping to go to sleep. So it's very separate, but at the same time, it's my wife's tour as well. This is our business, so she's very much involved in the setting it up and the decisions that are made. I rely on her very, very heavily to make sure there's a balance. I'm an artist, I'm a dancer, but I don't always look at it from a punter's point of view. She can look at it from that. My musical director will look at it from a music point of view as well. And we together come up with the formula for the show. She's an amazing mum. Yeah, she's all mums are amazing because it's a blimmin' tough gig. But she's the one that keeps it all running while I'm off gallivanting, having the time of my life. I feel guilty about it, but not so much.
Brendan, I thank you for your time. I could talk to you all day. I think the way you've dealt with what's happened in the last month was with incredible grace. I know how it feels to be dropped quickly by the BBC. They are soulless, and the way they've treated you is despicable. I don't expect you to comment on that, but we love you and we thank you for the memories on Strictly, and we wish you all the best with All Night Long on tour across the UK. BrendanColeLive.com. Thank you for your time.
That was lovely. Cheers, man. Thank you very much.